It commenced on the 1st of March 2023. It was inaugurated by the Honorable Minister of State for the department, Dr. Jitendra Singh. This will conclude today by late evening. We had over 90 delegates participating from 30 countries, including 20 member countries and 10 guest countries, along with a further participation of 5 international organizations. The first meeting of the G20 Anti-corruption Working Group, as you can appreciate, is truly representative of the richness of international experience in these matters. I would like to place on record my sincere appreciation personally and gratitude on behalf of the entire India G20 Anti-corruption Working Group team to Italy and the presence of our co-chair, in particular the constant support of Giovanni, who is sitting by my side, Giovanni Tartaglia Polcini. He is from the Prosecutor General's office. He has held several important positions and he is the head of the G20 task force in Italy. As also Mr. Fabrizio Marcelli, Minister Plenipotentiary. Over the last 3 days, we have had extensive discussions on several key focal areas, especially pertaining to fugitive economic offenders. The facets that we discussed include asset recovery, formal information sharing, informal cooperation, in addition to discussion on strengthening of institutional frameworks for countering corruption and how to strengthen and build in integrity principles in these bodies. We have had presentations and interventions of the member countries, as also experts from the UNODC, the OECD, the Egmont Group, the INTERPOL and the IMF. It has been enriched owing to the closeness to New Delhi, and it also is a testament to the seriousness with which the country holds the anti-corruption activities. That this working group meeting was addressed by, amongst others, the Honorable Comptroller and Auditor General of India, Shri Girish Chandra Murmu, Shri Praveen Kumar Srivastava, the Central Vigilance Commissioner, Shri Nitin Gupta, Chairman of the Central Board of Direct Taxes, Shri Sanjay Kumar Mishra, Director of the Enforcement Directorate, and Shri Subodh Kumar Jaiswal, Director, Central Bureau of Investigation. It was the endeavor of the delegates during their deliberations to arrive at a consensus. As you are aware, G20 is a consensus-based body, and all the documents and the outcome of the group has the force of consensus behind it, so that to underline the seriousness and then the commitment of all the member countries to the deliberations and the conclusions and outcomes reached therein. We have made considerable progress in discussing the high-level principles, especially on the high-level principles on improving information sharing for fighting corruption and related economic crimes, strengthening asset recovery mechanisms related to corruption, strengthening law enforcement cooperation for action against corruption, and promoting integrity and effectiveness of public bodies responsible for preventing and combating corruption. On the very first day of the Anti-corruption Working Group meeting, you might recall, we held a side event in this very hall. The side event subject was leveraging ICT to curb corruption in the public sector. This is an area in which India's recent initiatives like the GEM and the DoPT were once again showcased. As you are aware, they are globally recognized. Leading experts from India showcased and presented how India has adapted and created architectures to harness ICT in curbing corruption in public services delivery. Effort has been further made to impart a taste of India's rich cultural heritage to the delegates during the stay in Gurugram. Tomorrow the delegates will be visiting Sultanpur Bird Sanctuary and the Pratapgarh Fort in Haryana. I am confident that the deliberations of this working group meeting will pave the way for significant outcomes with regard to India's priority towards enhancing international cooperation in the global fight against corruption. We look forward to hosting the second edition of the Anti-corruption Working Group meeting from 25th to 27th March 25th to 27th May in the town of Rishikesh in Uttarakhand. And further, the third edition in Kolkata from the 9th to 11th of August, which will then be followed by the ministerial meeting, which will be the first ever in-person anti-corruption ministerial meeting, so as to provide further impetus to enhancing asset recovery and international cooperation for strengthening the fight against corruption. I am certain all our efforts will make corruption a lesser of a scourge, and we will help tackle the scourge of corruption through our collective efforts by leading by example. Thank you very much. I would now request my co-chair Giovanni to address the group.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Thank Rahul for this opportunity to share also our vision as co-chair of the Anti-corruption Working Group during the Indian presidency year in 2023. Let's say that it's not a news for us, this cooperation with India in the anti-corruption arena, because of the fact on 2021 we were the G20 president country, and the co-chairmanship of the Anti-corruption Working Group was of India. So we are now consolidating this experience under the guidance of India, and for us it's a privilege and an honor that allow us to consolidate, as I said before, some common efforts and to achieve with the support of the whole group important new goals. The activity of the G20 should never be considered as an isolated monad, but should be included in the global agenda. Ours is surely a working group inside the G20 process, but is also a policy group that must consider the global context as a whole, horizontally with a great relationship with the United Nations, for instance, and vertically considering the agenda of the year. And we will have under the Indian presidency 3 meetings. This is only the first, and after the summit in December we will have this year the conference of the state parties of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, so we can summarize and also theorize our efforts and goals. Let's see only 2 words on our vision about the fight against corruption today. Corruption is changed. Corruption, we define it is liquid, is sometimes an instrument to infiltrate the economy. We have to consider corruption holistically, also including the relevant crimes related to corruption, economic crimes, organized crimes. The second message, key message, is we have to involve also civil society and business sector in our efforts in a new multi-shareholder approach. We have to consider this a new era of enforcement, without only an approach from the public sector as alone. And I conclude with a sincere appreciation for the Indian presidency, for the agenda that shows that ours is an example of efficient multilateralism. We are ready to offer our contribution together with all the Italian delegation to the President Rahul Singh and all the anti-corruption chairmanship Indian team. And to demonstrate this, let me recall that our delegation in the meeting was really high. We had the president of the National School of Administration of Italy as head of delegation, and we have the president of the Italian National Anti-Corruption Authority too, and the president of the jurisdictional section of Italian Supreme Audit Institution. This is a plastic demonstration of our attention, and thank you for your attention.